Hey friends, welcome back and welcome to my home if you've never been here before. I am glad to have you. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I wouldn't say I'm an expert in, but I have spent some time researching and studying the idea of having a cozy home. I would say a lot of it spurred out of the fact that our family has went through a lot of different things in the last 10 years, and because of that some of the things were difficult, and I wanted to make my home a place that I could retreat to and that the rest of my family, my husband and children, could also retreat to and just find it to be a place where we want to go back to and really is our comfort space. So I have 10 tips for you today to make your space cozy, and these are all great things, but ultimately I have to say that I feel like the coziest feeling you get is from things that bring you comfort and joy. And they may not be the same things as my 10 tips, but I think that this will give you some ideas and maybe spark some ways that you can add some more cozy to your space. If you've been around for a long time, then some of these tips are not going to be a very big surprise because you've seen them come out in a lot of my DIY home decor videos and just in my style in general. So tip number 1 is to create curl up nooks, or that's what I like to call them. Basically, places where you can curl up and get cozy, relax. You can set your cares of the day aside and just breathe. So I have done this in many ways, but I recently had a new one that I created in my house. So let's jump over and I'll tell you about that. As we're talking about cozy nooks today, I need to say a big thank you to A Living for sponsoring today's video. To create this little corner into a cozy nook, I found the Swan Sing recliner chair from A Living. It took us just minutes to set up with no tools and no stress. This one chair fits every part of my day, my home office. As you all know, I work from home, my reading nook, because I love the point in the day when I get to read a bit, and my nap zone whenever I just need a few minutes to myself. With dual motors, I can control the back and footrest separately, which is huge. I absolutely love that in a good recliner, and I can enjoy zero gravity comfort after a long day. I love the handy USB port and Type-C ports for my e-reader and my other devices. Check out the link in the description box below to find out more about A Living, and thanks again to A Living for sponsoring today's video. Through the years, I have made little curl up nooks all over the place. I've had sunroom curl up nooks where we've got a used sort of sofa thing that I thrifted, and I was able to make it into a place where I could read and just enjoy the sunshine in that sunroom. I've had so many other spaces, but usually they have some similar components. First thing I would say it needs is somewhere to sit. So whether it's a chair or a sofa, or maybe you're even reusing an old mattress or something like that to create a space on the floor with pillows and mats and things. There is so many ways you can create a curl up nook. In our house, we have so many of them. In fact, generally, whenever I'm thinking of a space, I usually am thinking of, do I want to curl up there? Do I want to snuggle down in a blanket with a book? Am I feeling invited to sit in that space? So usually if I'm getting that feeling, then I know I'm doing something right. Tip number 2 is lighting. This is a big one. And really, it's not something that I thought all too much about until a couple of years ago when I realized that sometimes I gravitate towards a space simply because of the lighting. And this doesn't always mean lamps, although I have been known to have a lot of lamps. And my husband actually likes to tease me about that because I leave them on all the time. But I love having lamps around, and candles can bring lighting too. But also just thinking about how your furniture is positioned depend according to where your windows are, because as I've had several sunrooms, I've realized that a lot of times during the day, I do gravitate towards seating that is near a window and being able to see outside or letting the sunlight stream in. Since I brought up lamps, I have to tell you about one of my favorite pairings with lamps, and that is app controlled lights, or smart light bulbs is another way to say it. But basically light bulbs that you can put in your lamps and you can adjust the temperature of the light. This gives you that really glowy look, and you can also adjust it along with the other lighting that's in the room. So I will leave the link below for one of my favorite brands of light bulbs, and I have them all over my house. Before we move on to tip number 3, I do have to mention another way of lights that I feel like has become very popular, but it's worth mentioning, and that is candle warmers. It gives you the ambiance of the lamp, but also it gives you the idea of a candle without having to worry about if you blew the candle out or not. And that rolls into tip number 3, which marries with what I just said, and that is scents. So I think that there is something to the way a space smells that really invites you into it. And that can be through candles, that can be through essential oil diffusers, and I feel like at this point in our world, there is a plethora of options when it comes to those things. But obviously candles are great too, and in the last couple of years, I've really leaned into using stick candles as well. They're just so beautiful, and they give such an ambiance, particularly in the colder months and of course during the fall months. I just love the idea of candlesticks, and the candlestick holders are so fun to thrift. Moving on to number 4 is textures and textiles. And this is something I naturally gravitate towards, and that is textures. I even love it in my clothing, but for some reason, our brains tend to want to touch something that has texture. So if you have a blanket that is very textured, you are going to naturally gravitate towards it and want to curl up in it. And one of the things that I've really been leaning into in the last couple of months, and I'm kind of adding it in as the spring and summer months are rolling out, is quilts. Quilts are so textured, and they just give that fun pop of color in a space, and they just are something that I naturally gravitate towards wanting to touch. So if I have it thrown over my couch or over my little chair in a cozy nook or even across our bed, I know that I'm automatically going to want to go and crawl in and curl up. So the quilts are sort of the textile, or texture and textile together, but let's talk a little bit about textures. And a great example is actually the rug behind me. So I have some layering of rugs in this room, and this woven jute style rug gives a lot of texture, and woven things give so much great texture, like baskets and those types of things. And I just feel like it gives such a cozy feel to the space, and it just gives you, again, that idea in your mind that I want to touch that. It's a basket and it's woven, and I want to see how it feels. Tip number 5 is personalization, and this is something that I've been implementing more and more and more in the last couple of years. I used to be very, very minimalist and not put a lot of like photos up and things like that throughout my house, but I've been working on that in the last couple of years. And I think whenever you have photos or gallery walls or those types of things with pictures of people that you love, it just automatically makes you feel like I belong here. This is my space. Those are people I love, and it just brings that extra bit of joy and helps it feel like this is where you belong. Gives you that cozy, like, I know I'm supposed to be here feeling. And one tip I do have is that if you are a more neutral person and you don't like tons of color, to go ahead and take those pictures and put them into like a grayscale or a sepia, black and white, to where it's not bringing a ton of color if you like that more simple feel, but you're still getting the personalized aspect to your space. Another way to give that personal feel is to use heirlooms. And I think that there was a span span of time where people were not really using their grandmother's china or displaying it or other things that were their mothers or grandmothers. But I feel that that trend is definitely coming in where people are using things that remind them of someone that they love. And that's another way to personalize a space. So maybe get out that Afghan that your grandmother gave you, find a way to style it, or even maybe you need to ask for your grandmother something to pull into your space so that you are reminded of family. Number 6 is something that I feel like I bring up pretty well every home decor video that I do, and that is warm tones versus cool tones. And personally, now this is very much like a opinion. I'm not saying that this is by any means fact, but I do feel like warm tones pull people in and help to give that cozy feel. And so I've chosen to add those warm tones in to my home in many areas, but I still love a nice neutral palette. So generally, instead of doing tons of pops of color, which I'm working on adding more color in, but instead of doing tons of pops of color, I like to do pops of warm tones throughout my house. What marries with the warm tone idea is wood tones, which also kind of works with the basket idea or woven things like this rug, that it's bringing an earthy feel. You have the wood tones, and I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like things like wood flooring or wooden doors or a wooden table that you see the wood grain, it just is so nostalgic to me, and it just feels like it's gonna check every box in the cozy department. A note on wood and different types of wood. I have found that I was very hesitant about this when I started putting a lot of wooden textures and things into my house, but I have felt very okay with mixing different shades of woods. So for example, this flooring is pretty medium, I would say. I don't think I would call it a dark wood, but it's on the medium scale. But then my coffee table back here is the lighter wood color. And I have actually really enjoyed that look. I've seen it around quite a bit more where people are mixing wood tones, whereas I think there was like one phase of time where people would stick to like the gray wash or the lighter wood tones for a more boho look. That was like in the 2000s, or sticking with the traditional medium to dark tones. So I think mixing them gives a nice eclectic feel, and it just helps it feel like it's been pieced together. Number 7, I'm not going to go too great into detail, but it's going to kind of go back on some things I've said in the past. So I have been a fairly good minimalist, I would say, for the most part of my adult life. I've liked the idea of nothing too cluttered, nothing too cramped, that sort of thing. And I got to a point where I realized that the spaces that I am more drawn to are actually not entirely minimalist. I feel like there's a good balance between not too cluttered, but also having enough things where it feels cozy and it feels inviting. And also, whenever you're extremely minimalist, literally anything, like your jacket sitting on a chair, feels so out of place, and it just starts to feel uncomfortable where you feel like everything has to be picked up all the time. And I don't know about you, but we are a homeschool family. We're a family that is home a lot, and my house is not picked up all the time, and things are not always put away. So not that we're trying to camouflage messiness or camouflage things sitting around, but I do think whenever you're overly minimalist, it can feel stressful and get more stressful and sort of defeat the purpose of living the minimalist lifestyle. At least that's what I've experienced. So having the things around like throw pillows and blankets and other decor that you enjoy, I do think helps to make it feel more like home. Number 8 is sort of a funny idea, and I hope that you get what I'm about to say, but pulling in things that are thrifted and well worn help to bring in that cozy feel. So sometimes the brand new, shiny, most modern item ever is not very cozy feeling. And I have realized this more and more. And along with that, uniformity can kind of take away from the coziness. What I mean by that is maybe your nightstands don't have to match, or maybe you don't have to have an entire set of couches that all match. Maybe it looks a little more pieced together and cozy feeling whenever things don't match. And so I think finding things thrifted is a fun way to get rid of that uniformity and just sort of piece things together. It feels like it's been a well-curated space that someone took care and time to put together. So this list would not be complete if I didn't mention houseplants. If you guys have been around for any amount of time, you know that I love my houseplants. And the really funny thing is, if you've been around since I started YouTube over 8 years ago, going on 9 years ago, I knew nothing about houseplants. In fact, I killed a houseplant and it did not go well. And if you guys have been around since then, you know that I have grown quite a bit in my green thumb, and I am able to now keep houseplants alive and have them grow and thrive. And some of them are rather large at this point. I've had for years, and I've been able to grow them. At one point, whenever we moved last year, I had over 50 houseplants. I have gotten rid of quite a few, and I do a lot of my own propagating to where I grow them myself, and then I can make sprouts, and then I can grow more, and I can give them away, and I love all of that. But I'm going to stop rambling about my love for houseplants and just tell you why I think they make a space feel cozy. So I think that when you see a houseplant in the space, it means that someone lives there and it's alive, it's real, and obviously someone cares about the space enough to water that thing and let it grow. And so it just feels less stark and a little bit more like you're bringing the natural in, which I'm so big on. I love all the natural feels and vibes, and so having those houseplants there and seeing them growing and alive just brings life to the space. Number 10 is just an idea we touched on a bit throughout this video, but that is living in a perfectly imperfect space, or having a lived-in look. This is where the thrifted look and things being pieced together over time brings a much more cozy feel than what it would look like if you took a display out of a furniture store window and plunked it in your living room. Everything's gonna match perfectly, and it's just going to look like someone copied and pasted the whole idea. Whereas when you have bits and pieces, it looks like you took your time, you found this, you found that, and you put things into it that you really, really love. And I think usually whenever I go with like an impulse buy, or I'm just trying to slap something together, it definitely doesn't have as beautiful of an outcome as that slowly curated place. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I am no expert by any means, but I hope that this inspired you and gave you some food for thought when it comes to curating cozy spaces and making it your own. Maybe you're not a houseplant person, maybe you have a black thumb and it's just not working out. And that's okay, but maybe you have a beautiful piece from your great aunt that you can display in your home that just brings more of that personalized aspect to your place and space. Either way, I would love to hear in the comments below your tips on making spaces cozy and what you thought of this video. I love hearing from you all, and I love to respond to as many comments as I possibly can. And if you are new here, I hope that you subscribe, and I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in my next video.